So I thought I'd go live today, working tirelessly on a new app project on the Confluence strategy, taken from my book, Confluence, Not Coincidence. And we've built the black box. We're building a lot of the technology for this, but part of my job is actually back testing and checking all of these confluences, using charts, using visual confirmations, if you like, that the AI is doing the right job, because everything is just ones and zeros, and I need to visually see that. So I've been working on XAUUSD in the last half an hour, so I thought I'd go live. So first of all, we run a 45-day scenario, and these were the long trades. There's 100% win rate on these long trades, and it goes back to the 19th of March. So one of the things, I'm going to just go through those particular trades now. So I'm going to go back and so there are four different things that we look at. There's two different types of roller coaster here, with a signal, then a move across the line. Then we have an xBrat algo on a smaller time frame. So 14 minutes is the roller coaster time frame on high Kanashi. And then if we go to the xBrat algo here, we are on 9 minutes. And then the VWAP predator is our momentum indicator. That's on 7 minutes. And then we have the buy step heat map on 5 minutes. So this is separate to the dev. We've got another one here which we were just using for citing. So the main thing is what will happen is we look for, so the roller coaster is our anchor strategy. That signal has to come first. Okay, so in this situation here, what I'm doing is I'm just drawing simple lines where we've got here we've got the roller coaster on the bottom right. We see the red dotted line coming down here. That's our signal, and then it runs through the entry just there. We have a 6-star buy xBrat algo on the next candle. Okay, so that's good. That's after the roller coaster. That's confluence. That's momentum building. And then if we just go to the latest trade on here, the VWAP predator. So the VWAP predator can come before the roller coaster, or within a set number of hours afterwards, depending on the time frame of them. I'm not going to go into it too complex, but what we do is we get a this is the 23rd. We can see we get a sell signal here on there. So what we're looking for is confluence. We're looking for that momentum building in a certain direction. So we get the roller coaster, the xBrat algo, and then we also get the VWAP predator. And then on the 23rd, we go on the bias depth heat map. So this all gets worked out for me, but if you're doing it manually, this is what you've got to be checking is, and this is why I do my visual checks now, is that all 6 timeframes are green here. I'm 5 or 6 or 6 out of 6 with this Confluence strategy. So we have the roller coaster, we have the xBrat algo, we have the VWAP predator, all in a small amount of time, showing that confluence move and the bias depth heat map. And then that is the move. Now, 2 ways to manage this. We can manage it with the trailing stop you see here with this red line on the roller coaster, or indeed for the more advanced traders, we would look to trade this, get out of this with this manager. So this is a rejection of the lows, this red candle. So this cyan candle is a down candle, but has less volume here. But then all of a sudden we reject these lows on a higher volume and a higher than average volume, calling as a bullish harami. So that's when we get out at that point there. So this is what we would normally mark on. This was what I mark on here. I'm using a rectangle. So entry is here, depending on which is the last to give us that confluence signal. And for me, really, this is when I get out at this point here. Okay, that's the win just there. And then we'll just go through some others. So where you see signals, you see this signal here, it never went through the start line. Okay, and we cancel those signals after 4 candles. So these were initial signals but never went through. And then this particular, it was a roller coaster trade. We didn't get Confluence. All I'm interested in is the Confluence, the 100% win rate, okay, or very close to. So let's go to the next couple of trades and show you. Again, these are short trades here. This one, again, although we got this move down here, we did get in slightly earlier, or because we pushed back up, we came back down again. Then we got the last signal, which is the VWAP Predator. This, if we just make that slightly bigger so you can see it here. So you see that signal there. That's when we go through down at that point there. And again, this is a really great move down. No indications on the manager when to get out, so we've used that roller coaster. So that sort of win is that there, okay? And then we'll go to the next one. This one's quite late in, okay? The here, so we get the roller coaster, it gets the xBrat algo, but the VWAP Predator, the momentum doesn't really start until this point here. So this is our entry at this point, even though we've been printing that trading stop down there. And again, there are no real help with the manager here. We get out at that point there. So again, this is me back testing. I'm just drawing in the win green for me here. Start, exit there. What I'm going to do is go past the 45 days. So where you see a trade here, we didn't get Confluence, so there's not there. So I've checked all of these, but we're going to go and check some that look like trades, and we're going to go and have a look at that, how to look at that Confluence. So again, here quite early into this trade, really good start here, and there we go. There's our winner with there. Not really an opportunity to get out a little bit higher than that. Let's go through, let's keep going. So I have a very boring job in back testing this technology that we're developing this year, but it is very cool. So this one's quite late in as well. Again, it's about the build up, but then when we get in, it's about then getting out at that point there. Just make that's bigger anyway. So again, another winner. We get another short here, again, slightly later into this trade, but Confluence is all about making sure we've got the momentum as well. But it's a winner, okay? And then this is another one. This one, okay, this is our entry here. Trading stop, actually, as we're entering, isn't even there. So, you know, this point down here would be taking us out of break even. So there's no green rectangle there. And then this one is not on the spreadsheet. This one was out of the data range, 13th of March. And this is my first one that I checked. Again, when we look at this, we have the VWAP Predator before, and then we have the xBrat algo and the roller coaster both at the same time. This is a big winner, okay? This is a really big winner here. There we go. Okay, so now my job is to continue. So we took a 45-day data set. We've identified the combination of 14, 9, 7, and 5. This is what's working right now and has done for the 45 days. What I want to do is go back to at least the beginning of March. So I've got 60 days and understand that actually this is the groove. This is where we are. So again, so the first thing I'm going to do is identify some potential trades. So this one was a break even, but I am going to mark that up. I'm going to mark it separately with a blue here. This is TradingView. It's easier for me to do this on multi-charts on TradingView, and then I'm going to sync in the layout there. Okay. Then I've got another potential long here. It was a winner. Let's see if it was a trade. So I'm going to clone that. Okay, we got a loop here. So let's have a look at cloning that. Was that a Confluence trade? We will see. This trade wasn't taken in. It didn't go through the line. This one was a loser. So again, clone. Okay. This one wasn't a trade, didn't go through. Let's clone these few here. So this takes a while, but you will notice here. Just bear with me a second. Okay, sorry about that. So yeah, 6th of March here, getting some good data. So this was a really long trade here. I'm going to get that in there because eventually it was a loser, but we're going to check the confluence on here, and then I'm going to clone here. There, a lot of these will be discounted as we go through the process. Let's clone that one. So this was a break even. Clone. This one was a winner. Where are we? What date? So we've gone to the 28th of Feb. So we've gone far enough. So what I'm going to do is just going to take that back to that last one in blue, just here. Okay, 11th of March. So now I'm going to go on to my xBrat algo. Remember, the technologist told me this is the groove for the last 45 days. I'm going to go back and make sure that I've got a little bit of buffer and we're good 60 days. We've not got a lot of losers in there. So Confluence is about the groove. It's about the combination of those indicators on different time frames, showing you that confluence there. So 11th of March. So let's go back. Okay, so there's the 13th. There's the 11th. Okay, so what I do have, just check that 11th of March was a short. Okay, so I'm looking for an xBrat short signal. Now my rule here, it has to be within an hour of that signal. So that's 1930. That is 2257. That is not a trade. That xBrat algo has to come after, but within 1 hour. Okay, so deleting these. Okay, we've got a roller coaster signal there. No xBrat algo. Delete. The same here. So we do have a 6-star buy at this point on here. This is a 2109, 2221. It's just over the hour. No trade. Very strict rules. No xBrat algo for that signal. We do have for this short, the sinking layout, 1957, 1921. That's good. So we're leaving that on. We have another one here. Sinking layout. That's close enough. This one is, there's no long xBrat algo there. No confluence there. Okay. We do have one here. We have the 5-star buy is the earliest one right next to it. That's sinking layout. That's as far as we go. Okay, so we're going to go with February the 28th. Bear with me a second. Okay, so then my next port of call really is the VWAP Predator. So we're going to go back in time. Remember the data, the technology, just gonna have a cup of tea. The data's told me, and our AI's told me that this is the groove for the last 45 days. I will go on and test this forward now, but I just want to check those dates as well previous to that, just to give me a little bit more confidence. So I'm doing all of this visual checks to give me the confidence that, hey, it's got it right. And then we just need to test forward. So that's the 13th. Just got to find the next lot of lines. Okay, now this is interesting. So at this point, there was here, change that to yellow, dotted line, and then sinking layer. This for me, it was a winning trade, but my rules are no signals between certain hours. Okay, so this is UTC time. So anything from 1800 to 9 is no trade. This trade came in at 1924. We get a reset on the VWAP here, and we get those resets with the US futures markets and all that sort of stuff when the markets are closed for an hour. So we've got to be very, very careful in getting in just before here, because you don't know how those futures markets are going to reopen again. So this for me is no trade, because that is the rule I'm setting up for this Confluence strategy. So even though it's a winner, I'm not going to count it. Okay, that is my rule. Now the data, the machine that we have, the AI that we're developing, would not even give me that as an option, because it's between 18 and 2100 hours. Let's just go back and look for some more. Okay, so we get two lots of signals here, but no VWAP predator. Yeah, so no trade. Let's go and have a look at that on the 4th of March. That's the one that was eventually the loser. Okay, we didn't get that confluence. There was no real momentum in this move. It's no trade. Okay, and this is why we have a Confluence strategy. There is no VWAP predator there. We discount the trade, and there's some really great rules there. Again, this one here, there's no VWAP predator signal, but it's too close to that close. We get out. There's no VWAP predator anyway. That's not a trade. So there we go. So we still got 100% win rate. There was a few extra trades there in that days, but this is where we are right now with gold. So for those of our active traders with the roller coaster, the xBrat algo, the VWAP predator, the bias depth heat map, these are the four. I know there's 5 charts here, but this is just some testing on the roller coaster here. So we've got at this moment in time gold spot 14-minute Heikin-Ashi on the roller coaster. To build the confluence with that, we've got the 9-minute Heikin-Ashi on the xBrat algo. We have just normal candles on the VWAP predator on 7-minute. And then on the bias depth heat map, we're on the day trading setting on the 5-minute chart. Everything should align. So for my testing now, all I'm going to do is get these live currently. All I'll do is I'll draw those lines in. Okay, so again, there's been some movement here today. I'm going to check this one, for example, here. So let's just bring that forward to the right time. So let's have a look. This has happened today. I'm going red for a short. Okay, when does the xBrat algo come in afterwards? So this is at 22:36. This is over the hour, no trade. Okay, that's my rule. And then recently we've just had this here. So we've had the roller coaster signal at 0940, and he's now 1228. There's going to be no trade there. So all I'm doing is, and I'm looking at this on GPB, GBP US dollar. This is a 29-minute here on the roller coaster, 13 on xBrat algo. Euro US dollar, we're 18, 12, and 3, for example, there. These are the trades here. This has got an 80% win rate. Still very happy with that. GBP US dollar's got a really 100% win rate so far. And then gold is at 100% so far. But my testing now moving forward is to understand this groove. The AI will churn out every week new potential combinations. So hopefully that's how this is. A lot of my job is really just back testing, looking at the data, testing the technology. But the Confluence strategy itself is very, very strong. It takes a bit of time to understand how to combine these particular timeframes with those. And again, it's for a sophisticated type trader. But this is how to filter out the poor trades. Okay, yes, you're going to miss some, but you're going to have a very high percentage win rate. So in 2 months, if you've had 9 trades, but they're all 100% win rate and they're all really good moves, that's better than trying to pepper pot scalping and day trading on just using one signal, because one signal isn't enough really. One strategy is a specific market condition. But if you can combine, in this case, 3 signal generators that work in different market conditions and combine them together on different time frames to give you that momentum, that confluence, that strength of directional flow, and then that confirmation from the bias depth heat map, very, very, very strong strategy. You're not going to be trading every day. But if you got it across 9 different Forex pairs, for example, and gold, you're going to be trading every day, but not necessarily on every single pair. And this is the same for crypto, same for futures. It's a sophisticated strategy, but it's a very high probability strategy, and the win rates are really, really good. So hopefully that helps. Just wanted to come on live, whatever it was, half an hour or so, to go through what I'm doing on a day-to-day basis. Now for the rest of this year, we are developing a new app, and it's a Confluence app, and there's different components to that app, but this sort of the start of those components is our black box AI that identifies what the combination is for that Confluence strategy that gives a very high win percentage. Then my job over the next sort of few months or so is to check that it's churning out, it's learned from me, and it's starting to learn itself, that it's actually giving the right combinations, especially when it spots a better one and we change it over. So that's really, really important. So I'm just sharing what I do anyway. Hopefully that helps some people. When I finish this, I'll go back in the links and I'll put in the description the links for the roller coaster, the xBrat algo, the VWAP predator, and the bias depth heat map. And this is, I'm just using TradingView because it's easier for me with the TradingView platform to have multiple charts, sync in layouts and all that sort of thing.